The NFL draft is almost here, and teams are making their final preparations. One intriguing what-if scenario involves the New York Giants. Imagine if they had lost to the Colts in Week 17. They would be sitting at number 1 overall, poised to draft their quarterback of the future, Cam Ward. That single win changed everything, forcing them into a potentially difficult situation at pick number 3.
Absolutely, that Week 17 win was costly. Now, they are facing a tough decision: reach for a quarterback at number 3 or wait until the second round. On the other hand, a Patriots loss in Week 18 could have created a bidding war for Ward, allowing them to trade down and still land a top defensive prospect like Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. It highlights how even late-season wins can dramatically impact draft positioning.
Speaking of draft positioning, the Houston Texans are reportedly exploring a trade-up, driven by their need for offensive line help. They seem particularly interested in players with strong character, aligning with their ongoing efforts to rebuild their offensive line. With several young and promising O-linemen available, it makes sense for them to explore all avenues to secure a top prospect. They have multiple picks on day 2 that give them flexibility.
The offensive line class this year is indeed interesting, and there is also a possibility that players are going to get moved up the board due to the depth. The youth of the offensive line prospects is a factor, as some players could experience significant growth in the coming years. The Texans could target someone like Gray's Abel, or they might even make a bigger move for Banks if they are willing to part with future picks.
A name that keeps popping up is Jalen Walker from Georgia. He's a complex prospect with a lot of upside. Walker led Georgia in tackles for loss and sacks last season, showcasing his versatility and playmaking ability. He is viewed as a defensive coordinator on the field. However, his size, 6'1", 243 pounds, raises concerns about his ability to play every down on the edge in the NFL.
Walker's athleticism and versatility are undeniable. He excelled at Georgia, lining up both on the line and off the ball. His performance against Texas Kelvin Banks Jr. was particularly impressive, potentially impacting Banks' draft stock. While some see him as a potential top 10 pick, others view him as a second-rounder due to his size limitations. Ultimately, his landing spot will depend on how teams envision using him.
Switching gears, there's been some interesting chatter about Kelvin Banks Jr. despite some struggles against Walker. Coaches and scouts have remained high on Banks throughout the process. Banks is considered a prototype left tackle, more polished than Membu and more pro-ready than Campbell. Some of the teams may be looking to draft Banks.
The Raiders, Saints, Bears, and 49ers are all potential landing spots for Banks. Chicago specifically sent a large contingent to his pro day, indicating their strong interest. It's a testament to Banks' potential that he's still projected to be a high pick despite some inconsistent performances.
Outside of the Texans, the Broncos were the only other team actively looking to trade up earlier this week. Denver's target would likely be an elite skill player, possibly Boise State's Ashton Jeanty. This draft doesn't have a ton of trade-up targets, so Jeanty is definitely a name to watch if the Broncos make a move.
And finally, there's some debate about the tight end class. Some teams prefer Michigan's Colston Loveland over Penn State's Tyler Warren. Loveland is considered the more complete route runner, while Warren is more of a Swiss Army knife. As we get closer to the draft, the Jaguars are leaning towards offense with their top pick. Which means Mason Graham, the DT from Michigan, might be one of the players who could slide. All said and done, my bet is that we'll only see one quarterback in the top 20.